Hello everybody, thanks for watching. So today I thought I'd show you a little tutorial on how to install a over-the-range microwave. So these are very common right now, and I get a lot of questions about how to install these and the different ins and outs of what you need to look for. So the main thing that you need to know when you go to purchase one is that they are all 30 inches wide, and they will fit any standard opening for a stove. There are some exceptions to that. Some of the older stove openings are 36, and some of them are arranged for a hood instead of a microwave. So there are some things that you need to know in those cases. That's a little bit more in depth. Right, what we have here is we just installed these cabinets, and this has all been set up for a microwave. So we have none of those issues at this point, so that this microwave will fit in this space, we know, because we just installed these cabinets. Now, there are 3 holes that you're going to drill in the base of the cabinet and the bottom of the cabinet, and then you're going to put this bracket on. The instructions for where those sit are going to be in your box with your microwave. If you've purchased a microwave that's an over-the-range that is used, the instructions may not be with that. You're going to have to make your best judgment as to the measurements, because you're not going to have the exact measurements from the template that you're going to get from the factory. One caveat on that: if you've purchased one that's used, make sure it has this bracket and that it fits the microwave that you've purchased. If you are looking at one right now and it doesn't have this bracket, or if it doesn't fit, and I'll show you how it fits here in a second, then don't purchase that microwave. That doesn't have what you need. You absolutely have to have this bracket. The other thing that you have to have for installation is you have to have these screws. Okay, they're going to look like this. They're very long, and they have kind of machine threads on them. Okay, and when you go to the top of the microwave, you're going to see holes that look like this. Okay, and your screws should easily thread in there. I would recommend, if you're buying this used, I would recommend taking those bolts that he said go with it and threading those in by hand all the way in and then all the way back out again. If they catch and are too tight to go in with your fingers, then there's a marred thread somewhere on there, and that could be disaster for your microwave. So don't purchase that microwave. But if you are purchasing new, all of this is going to be in the box, and all of the instructions are going to be in with your manual. Now, in most cases, you're going to have a manual bag like this. This is your manual for your microwave. The template for where you put everything and where all the screws go is going to be in this bag. In some cases, you're going to have the template on the box. My template is down here. I can show you that in a minute. But that's going to be on the outside of the box. So it just depends on the type of microwave you have. So when you get your template, it's going to have some will have 2 different templates, some will have the same template but 2 different places that you put it. You're going to have a template for the back and where this bracket goes, and you can have a template for the top here and where your bolts go. You can see underneath here, we've already drilled, you can see this hole back in here, and there's another one over here that we've already drilled our holes. We have one more hole to drill. That is going to be for the plug, because you can see on a microwave, the plug is already attached. This is coming out the top. This is the top of the microwave, sitting right side up here. And so we're going to drill a hole for that. That doesn't attach, so you have to drill a hole big enough for the actual end of the plug. So we're going to be drilling a very large hole like this for that. I'll show you that here right now. Now I've already determined that this particular hole saw is large enough to accommodate for this plug. You can see the plug here is fairly large, but I've already verified that this is large enough to fit this hole. So when I drill this hole, this will go through that. Now, you can see on the template here, that is where you're supposed to drill the hole. So this is where it gets a little complicated because there's a couple different kinds of cabinets. This particular cabinet, you can see that the microwave's going to come up to here, okay, and it's going to hit back to here. So this space here is open. It's just an open, empty space up here. You can see the microwave doesn't have anything that will go up in there. This is just flat. So that front of the cabinet's going to hit here, and the back of the cabinet's going to hit back here. So that whole space underneath here is about 3/4 of an inch to an inch difference here. That's going to be open. Now, what I've determined, this is my personal preference, this does not have to be drilled for this type of cabinet. Does not have to be drilled exactly where that comes out. I can move that hole back here and the cord will simply travel through this space over to the hole and go up. That allows me to have the, move this out of the way, have the hole back here, and then this cabinet does not have a cord stretching too far through the cabinet. Makes the cabinet more usable. And any excess cord can actually be shoved back through that hole on top of the microwave. And so it's just a small, short little cord going over to the outlet. This is going to be our outlet here. But, this is not wired yet. This electricity has been turned off. The plug just isn't in yet. But that's where the outlet's going to be. Okay, so next we're going to drill that hole. So I'm going to take our bit. Now this is a hole saw if you're not familiar with this. So you can see it's got a regular kind of drill bit in the middle, and then it has like a saw edge to it, and that is a hole saw. So how this works is you're going to drill through that. The middle part is going to keep it from going everywhere. If it didn't have that and you tried to start with this, it would just kind of go everywhere. So that keeps it stable while it starts to saw through. But you can see that the middle part is a little bit longer. What that also allows for is for you to drill from both sides. So I can drill through the bottom until I see that just the pilot bit come through into the inside of the cabinet, inside here. And then I can drill, come over and I can drill down the other direction. The reason I would do that is because these hole saws cut a very nice edge when they're going through, but as they come through the other side, they tend to tear everything up, okay? So if I take this and I go through the bottom and just pop up through the cabinet, it's gonna tear the cabinet up. It's gonna look ugly, it's not gonna be good. So I'm gonna drill from both directions with this particular bit. So that's something to always keep in mind with a hole saw. They cut a nice hole to start, but when they come out the other side, they tear everything to pieces. So if that's something that's gonna be seen, you don't wanna do that. You wanna drill back the other direction with it. So let me show you how that works. I'm gonna start over here. So you can see it's staying stable because of that center drill. See how that goes? So that makes a very nice cut when it goes through this direction. But as it comes through the other side, it's going to tear everything up. So we're going to drill through just enough, and we're already there. You can see the hole. It didn't take much. The hole's already there. That's just the pilot hole coming through. So we're going to switch to a different drill, and I'll show you why that. Just one second. So I switched to this angle drill. This is going to be a specialty drill that not many people are going to have, but this is something that's very essential for my work. So you can see how long this drill is. Watch this. When I bring this up here, this cabinet's so short, this just won't even fit in here to drill from the top. So I have this angle drill. It's in here, and I can go back in here and start at my pilot hole and drill my way down. So I find that hole. Of course, on my camera, so it's not going to find it easily. Let's see, where are we at? Right there. There it is. All right, so I'm going to start off slow. That was it. That didn't take much. But you can see, by going through the top, I've got a nice clean cut through that cabinet. Very clean, no mess for the customer to deal with. So that's just a little tip for your hole saws. Any hole saw is going to do it that way. So that's how we drilled through there. Now, we're going to install the microwave. So we're ready to install the microwave now. So a couple of notes. You'll probably notice that there's a lot of sawdust. If you've seen in the pictures, there's a lot of sawdust here. So if you're doing this, you're probably going to already, if you're doing this, it's not new construction, and you're doing this for yourself, you're probably going to have your stove here. You're going to want to cover that with something because you're going to get sawdust all over your stove. And your counters as well. You want to keep a shop vac nearby because when you get done with this, you're going to have to clean this entire area. It's going to be very dusty. So whether you're doing this for a customer or you're doing this for yourself, bear in mind, this is a very dusty process and you're going to have a lot of sawdust to clean up when you're done. There's going to be a ton of sawdust up in this cabinet, and we're going to vacuum this out as well. So don't leave that behind too. You're going to walk away from this and not be able to see in here. I'm 6 feet tall, and this is too tall for me to be able to see into clearly without standing up on a ladder. So don't forget to vacuum out in here because there's a good bit of sawdust up in here too. So what I've done is I've removed anything that's going to scratch the microwave. I usually keep pens in my pocket or pencils, and I removed all those. And I've got a watch on here. I want to be careful of that. Make sure that that's not going to scratch the microwave. Where I'm going to be grabbing from, it shouldn't be a problem. The microwave has got its cord. I'm going to set the cord on top of the microwave. That's going to keep it out of my way. So I've got the cord kind of coiled up here on top of the microwave. And where I'm going to grab it from is I'm going to grab it from the bottom. I'll show you. I'm going to grab it from the bottom right here. I've got my other hand on the exact same spot on the side. Now, these aren't very heavy, but they're just unwieldy. Now, it fits in here perfectly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it, tilt it. Okay? And those hooks hooked on the back. Now this thing's hooked, but if I let go, of course it'll fall off, but the back is hooked. So now as I tilt forward, I want to take my cord, I want to put that up through that large hole that we drilled for that. Just enough that I can grab a hold of it inside the cabinet and pull it up. I'm going to pull that cord out from the cabinet as I push up so that it doesn't get in my way as I'm pushing it in place. Now, it's all the way up. Now, this particular brand comes with a washer. Now, if your brand microwave doesn't come with a washer, you can purchase these washers at your local hardware store. A lot of times they're called a fender washer. Okay, what they are is they've got a larger inside hole. I'll show you one that's out. They've got a larger inside hole, and they're a bigger washer. A lot of washers that are this big, the hole is almost as big as the rest of it. So this is a fender washer with a smaller hole in the inside and a bigger washer. And you can purchase those at your local hardware store if you're concerned about making sure that your holes line up correctly. Now, this is the tricky part. You want to get those screws in, but they have to be lined up just right. you're not going to start these with your drill. You're going to start these by hand. Very important. Now this one off to my right hand side here is threading in perfectly. I can thread this in with my fingers all the way down, and that's doing just right. Now, the one with on the left hand side here, it's a little tight, so we're going to be very careful here. Now, I've got one hand on this, but one bolt is already most of the way in, and I'm just going to very lightly, not too much, just very lightly tighten that up. You have to feel how, it went in perfect. So that was a little difficult, but it went in at the end there. So if we put too much pressure on that, how those things are arranged inside there, that's just a sheet metal top. And so they have a similar thing to this toggle bolt up inside there. All it is it's a nut that is put in a bracket, and it has a little bit of twist to it. So if that bolt is a little bit twisted, it can handle that and it can twist into place. But if it's too much, then it will bind up and won't thread in there correctly. And if you start to push it, you'll start by cross-threading it. That can be a nightmare. And then if you push it even further, you can pop this toggle bolt out of the metal, and then you are done. You just broke it. There's not any fix to that. So you don't want to do that. Now, if that had not gone in, what we're going to have to do, the last ditch effort, if this ever happens and you've put that bolt in, you feel that thing and it just stops with your fingers. That one was going in nicely with my fingers. I just finished it up with the drill. But if it doesn't go in nicely with your fingers, what you're going to have to do is pull the whole microwave back down again, and you're going to have to change the direction of that hole in the cabinet a little bit. You have to open it up a little bit. So in this case, that bolt was coming in at an angle like this. The hole was a little too far back this way, so we're going to have to move it forward, if that makes sense, so that bolt straightens up. So that's all our microwave all installed. The electrician will still have to come back in and put that outlet in, but we're all done today. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope this video helped you out be able to install your own microwave. Have a good day, and don't forget to like and subscribe.